What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter coming at you with another episode, creeping up on episode number 50 soon. Next episode is going to be episode number 50. So it's been super, super exciting to get up into this point. Thank you guys that has supported, subscribed, liked, commented, been a part of the community. You guys are amazing. And if you want to join the community and be up to date on the latest Yankees news, please make sure you go ahead and subscribe right now. It would truly, truly mean the world. But this episode, I'm bringing you guys this episode because I feel like a lot of noise, but not enough action. There's obviously we got Stroman recently, 2-year, $37 million contract. Obviously, earlier in the offseason, we got Juan Soto, we got Alex Verdugo, bunch of other little moves as well. But there's so many names. I actually went in and did a little bit of research and like kind of backtracked and looked throughout this whole offseason. There are so many names that the Yankees have expressed interest in or been linked to according to articles and reporters that haven't found a landing spot yet, that I'm guessing still have a chance to become a Yankee. And there's also some rumors after acquiring Stroman that around the Yankee community itself, saying that it feels like the Yankees are done. And if they are going to make another move, it won't be until the trade deadline. Don't know if I agree with that. There's reporters saying that they're still in on Snell. They're out on Snell. There's so much going on. And in this episode, I kind of want to break it down, kind of help reduce some of that noise and kind of break down some of the players that still are available, giving my prediction and opinion. I'm not a news reporter. I don't have any inside scoop, but based off of how the offseason has laid out, based off of player history and team history, what's the likelihood of these players landing on the Yankees or the Yankees signing or trading for these players? There's a lot. So jumping right into it, there's even new players that have been recently announced as of yesterday or 2 days ago. There's just so much. So players even like Urshela, we feel like there still needs to be a third. There's the third base vacancy over there, and we still need to fill that in. I personally don't think Urshela will come back. Not because I don't think Urshela doesn't want to, or the Yankees don't want to. The Yankees have expressed interest, but that's all we've heard, that the Yankees have expressed interest. So in my head, as of right now, at least especially with the importance being more towards pitching, whether that's relief or starting pitching, I personally think starting pitching. I don't think Urshela is going to end up landing with us. And I do have no doubt we're probably going to offer a contract that I just don't think is going to be as aggressive as maybe other teams. So that's my take on Urshela. There's guys like Jorge Soler that for whatever reason the Yankees have expressed interest in when we already got Verdugo, we already got Soto, we already got Grisham. We also are trying to make sure that Stanton bounces back. We have Judge, obviously. Dominguez coming back healthier than ever after that injury, coming back sooner than expected. You have Pereira that is still on the team. You have Cabrera that obviously is a util guy, but still there's so many. It's probably a guy who still missed. So many outfielders that I just don't see how Soler would be there. So I would like to not debunk saying that the Yankees aren't interested. They have expressed interest and have been linked to Jorge Soler. I just don't think it's going to happen in the same way, similarly to Urshela. I just don't think it's going to happen. It feels as though this offseason has been a lot of Yankees being linked to this, Yankees being interested to this guy, and which is good and all. The Yankees are doing their due diligence and checking in on players that may work for the team. But I don't think doesn't mean they're gonna land on every single one of them, nor do they think they should. So that's why guys like Urshela and Jorge Soler, I don't think are gonna land with the Yankees. Now, some more names that I could kind of debunk and say that aren't gonna happen are Burns and Cease. Recently, latest news has been that the Yankees have kind of, the word was balked or more or less hesitated at the idea of the trade package that would be consist of for Burns and Cease. So with that being in mind, I honestly agree. I know the packages are going to be huge for both of them. So with that being said, I don't think the Yankees are going to go after them. It doesn't say that the Yankees are out of the running for them. It just says that they're a little bit hesitant and not too sure on the idea of the trade package necessary for them. And again, that's probably the initial ask for the trade package. So there could be still some negotiations going on there. But even since the beginning, I've always said that I don't think Burns would land here. I really, really don't. And then with Cease, I don't want to because he really only had a couple of good seasons and he's a strikeout machine, but his ERA has also been an issue. So because of that, I'm not saying it's fully debunked in the same way as Urshela and Soler, but I don't see how they will end up fitting on the Yankees, especially after getting someone like Stroman. The more likely, and this also refers to Shane Bieber as well. I think recent news has came out that Shane Bieber won't be moved until maybe the trade deadline, and they're not as aggressive of getting rid of Shane Bieber from the Guardians. So there's that as well. And I honestly don't think after getting Stroman, we're going to need a pitcher like Shane Bieber. I want to get a pitcher that's more consistent, reliable. So we could also ignore Bieber. Now, talked about a lot of pitchers that I don't think we're going to land. Some pitchers that I think we still could land that are still in the mix. Josh Hader and Blake Snell. Not saying we're going to get both, but Josh Hader, Blake Snell. Josh Hader, even after acquiring Stroman, the Yankees have still been linked to Josh Hader and has expressed interest. And that it's come down to, even in, I got to find the report, but it said that it has come down to the Rangers and the Yankees as the front runners for Hader. I know the Rangers, I feel like, are going to be aggressive on Hader just because they haven't done much this offseason. And more than anything, the Rangers need a closer, a strong, reliable closer. And what better than Hader? So do we. So let's see how aggressive we are. I don't think we are because also our bullpen in general is in better shape. So we don't have to be as aggressive for Hader. Do I want Hader? Absolutely. But if I were to land a prediction, he would probably land on the Rangers. So what's next for the Yankees? I would hope to hopefully land Hader, but if not, another guy I hope that we really land, most importantly, is Blake Snell. Blake Snell is, I feel like, a huge question mark out there because, again, there was a report by, I believe his name is Victor Martinez, coming out and saying that the Yankees have offered 5-year, 150 mil, which is a 30 AAV. And Snell came back and rejected that initial offer and said, hey, I'm going to need another year or I'm going to need more money per year. And I just don't see how the Yankees are going to add another year. Let me know what you guys think. If they should add another year, I don't think so. Maybe more AAV. Maybe if it's not so much of a higher AAV, maybe you go up to a 33 AAV and then maybe some incentives as well, because we all know the question mark has been the innings pitched. Outside of last year, I think he's generally averaged 140 innings pitched around there. So last season he did have 180, which was great, but that's not what his track record shows. It's just that one season. So maybe there's an incentive there if he could reach 180 innings. But who knows? Maybe there's a way to restructure it, but they're still in the negotiations. And a lot of reporters have come out and said, such as Ken Rosenthal saying that he doesn't think that the Yankees are quite done yet with negotiating with Snell. He doesn't think that they're obviously on the front runner, but he doesn't think that just because Snell rejected the initial offer means that they're completely out of it. Saying that essentially until Snell is signed, it's not over. So, which I agree. And I see a lot of people don't think that they're going to get Snell. They think that Stroman was a response to missing out on Snell, but I could be wrong. But I think how soon the news broke out, I don't think that was necessarily a response to Snell. I think they wanted to try to land both, and they landed Stroman, and they're still trying to figure out with Snell. Maybe getting Stroman helps with the leverage of saying, "Hey, Snell, we don't need you as much anymore, so you're gonna have to take the 150." There's not a lot of other teams. There's rumors that not a lot of other teams are in on Snell either, and name that was linked to Snell were the Giants, and they just got Robbie Ray. Now I know they're not. Though a Cy Young winner, not on the same tier as of this minute, still could be in on Snell. I'm not too sure on the Giants side. I'm not too sure of their news and things like that and how serious they are on them. But there's a bunch of question marks. But one of the things that I can't answer is that the Yankees are not out on them on Snell yet. And I have no doubt personally, not a reporter, no sources, but in my prediction, I still think the Yankees are negotiating and figuring something out with Snell. So I also think that what's next for the Yankees should go ahead and land Snell. Try to get Snell. Figure it out. Don't go an extra year. That's one thing I will say. Do not go for that extra year. Don't fall for it. Go for, maybe you could provide a option for a 6th year with incentive. Who knows? But I wouldn't want to give a solid 6th year to Snell. Maybe an option. Maybe you do. There's so many ways you could break it up. You already know. The Dodgers know them doing all the crazy deferrals. Don't think we're going to go that route, but there's so many ways of breaking it up. Who knows? Now, beyond Hader, beyond Snell, I think we should go after both. I think we can. Will we? I think it's just really going to be one or the other. I don't think they're going to end up they're going to land both. There's other names out there. Obviously, one that I just missed that I want to mention is Monty has been heavily linked to the Rangers, saying that he seems like he wants to return to the Rangers. Now, with that being said, it kind of seems weird that if he wants to return to the Rangers so bad, why hasn't that deal been closed yet? Are the Rangers hesitant on paying that amount of money? Is he waiting for Snell to sign to then figure out his value? Who knows? But if I find it interesting that he hasn't locked it in with any team yet, if he supposedly wants to go so bad back to the Rangers. So, that's another thing I want to mention. Don't think he's going to honestly land with the Yankees just because of what news have said about him still feeling some type of way about us trading him, which I get, but also that was like kind of 2 years ago, I think. So, anyways, I would love him back. Don't think it's going to happen. You got also another name like Luzardo. A lot of people are saying it's going to require a big trade package, which I could see. I could absolutely see. And sorry I forgot your name, man, but I was commenting with someone in the comment section of one of my videos talking about Luzardo and willing to give up Spencer Jones. I agree with that. I know that's not a popular take, but listen, if we get rid of Jones, it forces us to lock in a generational talent like Soto, which we should already do regardless. We got Jason Dominguez, which could be a generational talent, and you got Judge. Plus, you still got Grisham for a couple of years, I believe, and then you got a few other young outfielders as well. Doesn't all fall on Spencer Jones. So from a position of depth, I think we could give up Spencer Jones and even Peraza or Glaber. Don't think we're going to trade off Glaber. I think we're in a very all-in mode right now, so might as well keep Glaber and figure it out either mid-season or trade deadline or re-sign him in the offseason next season. Don't think he's going to get moved, but a package could start there with a Luzardo. Another guy that just has been announced about a day or two ago that is also on the Marlins that not the Yankees have been linked to, but fans have been bubbling up the idea of getting him is Luis Arraez. Now, let me say this nicely. The Yankees aren't getting Luis Arraez. If the Yankees get Luis Arraez, Jesus is coming soon. On by soon, I mean like tomorrow, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for the Marlins to move Luis Arraez, at least for the package that the fans are saying. People are saying Gleyber Torres for Luis Arraez straight up. That's not going to happen. Gleyber makes way more money than Luis Arraez, I believe. I could be wrong. The Marlins already didn't want to pay Luis Arraez in arbitration, from what I've heard. I could be wrong. And you got 1 year of Gleyber Torres versus, I believe, 2 or 3 years of Arraez. And Arraez won the batting title. Now Gleyber has power that Luis Arraez doesn't. I believe, despite Gleyber Torres having a weird defensive season last year, he still is better defensively than Luis Arraez, so there's something there. But the Marlins are very much into something a little more affordable. So the trade could only happen, and usually with more control, which is exactly what Luis Arraez is. So to do just straight up for straight up, maybe not. Maybe you could do something like a Peraza and someone else, and maybe there's value there to do that trade. But it's not going to be cheap to give up someone like Luis Arraez. And I feel like there's other teams that are going to maybe want someone like Luis Arraez as well. So unless you do some just blockbuster trade of Jesus Luzardo, Luis Arraez, and you give like just empty out our whole farm system of whatever we have left along with MLB ready players, I don't see how this deal is really going to get done. So though I would love Luis Arraez, and imagining that lineup with Luis Arraez, again, he's a lefty. Let me remind you, batting champ, batting first, Judge second, Soto third. Just that's the best 1 through 3, hands down. Most balanced, best 1 through 3 in the lineup, hands down. I don't care who it is. I would take that over even. Well, that's kind of a stretch, but I was gonna say it's to me. It sounds crazy to say it would be on par with the Dodgers 1 through 3 in Betts, Freeman, and Ohtani, even though that's legendary. But enough on Luis Arraez. Until I see that the Yankees are linked and interested in Luis Arraez, I'm 100% saying that the Yankees are out on him. And I just don't see it happening despite it. And even the article that came out, it said that Luis Arraez was that the Marlins are interested and are open to trading Luis Arraez. It doesn't mean that they want to. It means that they're open to the idea of it. So even the verbiage of the article, I could be taking it too literal, but it doesn't seem like it's too much of a sure thing. Maybe more of a trade deadline. Who knows? Just don't see it happen. And then even also that broke out, a name that broke out recently as of yesterday, I believe, at least from when I found out, is a relief pitcher, Hector Neris. Hector Neris is also a name out there. There's even relief pitchers like Keenan Middleton that supposedly we want to bring back, and even Wandy Peralta that we've also been linked to. Those three relief pitchers, big relief pitchers, not big as a Josh Hader maybe, but very reliable relief pitchers that can make a difference in our bullpen. And we missed out on Jordan Hicks, which is totally cool. I think either one of these three will be a great addition to our bullpen, and maybe it may be a stretch, but I would say if we land one of those three relief pitchers, I think we're out on Hader. If I were to make my final take, this whole episode encapsulated, if I were to take my final take on what is next for the Yankees, my prediction, no, again, not a news source here. It's not breaking news, but my prediction on what's next for the Yankees and what should happen for the Yankees is go and get Snell. Don't give that extra year. Go ahead and give him more AAV. Maybe give him incentives that boost that AAV. Who knows? I know the Yankees can figure it out. Do something like that. Snell is friends with Judge. I don't want to say that means the world, but it does mean something. And so there's that's number one. Get Snell. Then I'm willing, just because of the reality of it, not because ultimately I would love Hader and Snell, but just because of the reality of it, if we're getting Snell, we're out on Hader. I would almost could guarantee. If not, then I would be awesome to get Hader. Now we get Snell. Now we have to get one of those three relief pitchers. Wandy, which will probably be on the bottom of my list out of the three. Then you got Middleton, which I'll be okay with because he's shown he's pitched in pinstripes well. And Hector Neris, both of them, either one of those two I'm okay with. Wandy being at the bottom of that three. Love you, Wandy. Love your personality. But we already got a lefty relief pitcher. We're fine in that department. And someone like Hector Neris and Keenan Middleton will be great. Really like Keenan Middleton and what he did for us in that short stint at the trade deadline, through the trade deadline. And I think either one of them will be a great fit to round off our bullpen. So that's what's next for the Yankees. No to Luis Arraez, no to Soler. I don't think they're going to land Monty. All those other names to kind of numb down the noise, just so you guys know where my mind is focused in on. It's getting Snell and getting one of the three really pitchers that I mentioned: Middleton, Neris, or Wandy Peralta. Let me know what you guys think. What are your final predictions of what's going to happen left in this offseason? Again, this proves that I'm not on the side that the Yankees are done yet. I'm on the side that the Yankees are still could, should, and need to do something and will do something. And that something includes a starting pitcher. Now, I can understand and I could see the reality where we don't do anything in the starting pitching department, but I do think we will, do think we should. Let me know what you guys think. If you liked this episode, please make sure to like it, comment down below, and subscribe, and watch what YouTube suggests would be a great video for you. You're not going to want to miss all the latest Yankees news and topics going on. Listen, Judge wants you to subscribe. The Martian wants you to subscribe, so make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.